Welcome back to another episode of the Turnover Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Skelton, and I'm here with Casey Teten. Life has been a little bit of a whirlwind recently, at least for me. I have not been able to do this as much as I would like, but I do have another guest or host now with me. Say what's up, Casey.
How we doing, baby? Happy to be here.
Doing great. So let's go ahead and get right into it. At least the NBA for me has been a little slow for me recently. I just haven't been able to get into it as much, probably because I'm a 76ers fan and my favorite player has been hurt the entire season, and the Sixers are
pretty much
8 seed right now, so that it does
not. Yeah, you're fighting for your spot in the play-in right now.
Fighting
Actually,
for our lives to even make the playoffs right now. But at least Tyrese Maxey's doing well. But
yeah, that to look forward to.
You as a Celtics fan, I'm sure, is pretty happy.
Never better. Another 5-game win streak as of yesterday. Just the bench playing great is what we love to see, because that's one of the more underrated parts of our team is when our bench players come in. Pritchard, Hauser, Cornette, guys like that. Tillman's looked great since we've got him.
If he didn't get hurt, could have broke the record in that game, I believe. 10 threes in like 3 quarters.
It would have felt wrong if a player, like if a seventh or eighth player in the rotation in a 25 minutes broke the 3-point record set by the greatest shooter ever. But yeah, he was lighting it up. Boy was not missing. So
10 of 13, something like that from 3.
Yeah, he was not missing. It was ridiculous. Game. To be fair, Mazzulla was calling great plays, a lot of pin down screens, couple elevator plays. He was getting to his spots relatively unbothered. So
Mazzulla's been doing good as a coach. I wasn't expecting that from him at first.
He hit a stride this year with the offense, and I think it's more about the guys we got. I mean, having Porzingis has unlocked disgusting amounts of
rolls.
We have
probably the best addition for them.
And then Drew Holiday has just been. I mean, he's shooting like 60% or like north of 50% on corner threes,
which is ridiculous. From
Holiday. I mean, the sacrifice from him alone has been like one of the things that's helped us get these wins and this huge lead in the East. But
yeah, I honestly feel like he's better in kind of that third man or even fourth man on that team sometimes role. It could be fifth man too.
Derek White outscores him.
Derek White does outscore him, but it's just the defense from him. If he just hits his threes and plays good defense.
I mean, Mazzulla lets him, kind of freelance defensively sometimes. Like, we'll either put him on, some of the best players, or we'll let him free roam and play for steals and be aggressive. So
that's all you really.
He's just. I mean, it's just about the options we have. We have, some of the deepest shooting in the league, best defense in the league. We struggle rebounding the ball. That's
just going to happen sometimes, though.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Warriors rebounding during their run. They weren't the best of rebounding team either. But you don't.
But you don't.
When you're shooting over 50% from the field and shooting 35+% from 3 on a nightly basis, it's.
And Drew Holiday
closer to 40
on 4.5 attempts from 3 a night. He's shooting 45%.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, that's what you want. A guy who doesn't need a lot of shots, but is still deadly efficient.
He's only averaging 13 points from. Last year he averaged 19 on the Bucks, but it's definitely a step back. But as long as he's hitting his threes and playing good defense, that's all you need from him, really.
I was gonna say, I just can't sing his praise enough, because. He takes the back seat. Porzingis is north of 20 points per game. Jaylen Brown north of 20. Tatum's 25 plus. It's
crazy.
There's not a whole lot of shots left for him. Derek White's been one of the most efficient scoring role players in the league. So
he's different. We can talk about.
He's the difference maker, and he's our champion too. He's our champion.
He does have the championship.
That's going to be his. I expect him to be one of our best shot makers and playmakers in the fourth quarter of these big playoff games, because
that's his role.
Tatum's great, but he has his nights and then he doesn't have his nights.
Exactly. But
and same with Jaylen Brown too. So Drew's going to be huge in those moments.
Jaylen Brown's
because they're going to come. Come on, man.
Hey, that dunk with his left hand, man.
Hey. The left-handed allegations are what they are.
Does he need a left hand?
Probably not. We got 6 capable left hands on the roster. We
But we can talk about the West now with the Nuggets and the Thunder going back and forth for the number one seed.
It's not even just that. It's the fight for the play-in spot. The Lakers, the Warriors,
yes, the Warriors
and the Mavericks
needs to be studied this year because that team, I swear. I mean, last year they made the playoffs.
Were they a play-in team last year too? After their finals run.
I don't think they were a play-in team last year. I'll go ahead and double check that really quick, but I don't think they were.
I know they can't do anything on the road.
They were 6 last year.
I know last year and this year their road record.
They lost to the Kings in the first round. Or no, they beat the Kings in the first round. And then lost to the Nuggets or the Lakers. They lost to the Lakers. That's what it was. Lakers were in the Western Conference Final against the Nuggets.
Yes, they were.
So, I mean, they were a good team last year, but Klay Thompson can't score 15 points.
Well, he looked good the other night against the Lakers. He had 20-something. 26.
Yeah,
efficient shooting.
That'll happen, but at the same time, it's
big game Clay, baby. Yeah, Western Conference semis last year. Lakers won it 4-2.
Yeah, I just don't think. I mean, 41% from three last year, 38% this year for Clay, and he's played 10 games off the bench, and
only 10. I thought he's been coming off the bench longer.
He started 53 games. They've played 60.
Okay.
He's only averaging 17 points.
How many games has he missed? Has he missed a lot of games?
I don't think he has missed any. He's missed 3.
I think
he's missed 3 games.
I think, which I've noticed a lot more around the league this year. I don't know about you, but the
injuries
players are healthy. Injuries are crazy.
Some teams are very.
Some teams are bugged, but that's always going to happen.
Like Memphis, all the way down to
losing losing Ja sucks, but
their top 3 players are all not eligible to play.
Okay,
last night I think, or a couple nights
there are some teams bugged by injuries, but my point is, in total around the league, superstars are healthy and playing.
That is true.
More than they have in the last.
You're always gonna have your team. Get hurt and don't have their
bad luck is what it is.
I mean, you can look at. The Grizzlies are a perfect example of a team that just can't stay healthy. They're at the 13th seed, 23-45, and their lineup against the Thunder the last game was horrible.
Last time they were healthy, they were in the Western Conference Finals.
Starting lineup was Jaren Jackson, Santi Aldama, Gigi Jackson, Luke Kennard, and Desmond Bane.
I watch NBA basketball every day, and I did not know 2 of those names.
Oh, listen to the bench. Wendy Gabriel. I have to look at this guy's full name because I don't know. DeJounte Jarreau. Is that legend Jake LaRavia? Oh my God, it is legend Jake LaRavia from Wake Forest. And then John Conchar.
Did you see the legendary jersey swap from...
Yes, I did see the black Anthony Black and Grady Dick jersey swap. That was something.
And they did it in the right order too. I for real am mad at the Magic for passing on Grady Dick, because Black Dick could have been a great duo.
It could have been a great duo.
What could have been, I guess.
I can't believe that jersey swap was just allowed to happen. But I don't think is there anything else? The Thunder and the Nuggets keep going back and forth. We can talk about MVP a little bit.
Who's your MVP? Because it's a real discussion. Like, this is the first time in years it's a real discussion.
I have a feeling that you already know I'm not picking Jokic because I am not a fan of Nikola Jokic. Obviously,
I know you don't like him, but
he's good. Probably the best center in the league. Best
player in the league. Yeah, best player in the league.
My MVP, though, is Shai. Because of the 1 seed.
I like Luka.
If Nuggets, in my opinion, if the Nuggets are the 1 seed, it probably is Jokic. If the Thunder
Then
are
what
the 1
about
seed,
Tatum?
it should be Shai.
Then what about Tatum? Because the Celtics have like a 7-game lead if we're talking 1 seed.
I know, but
if we're talking 1 seed in a difference of 2 games,
I think Tatum's down
then
like
let's
5.
talk. No, he is, but
it's for him. It's because he
is on the best team he's on the best team in the league, and he doesn't.
They're the best supporting.
And he stays in the system. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's not balling. He's not scoring 31 points.
He doesn't. I mean, half the time he doesn't take a shot in the first 6 minutes of the game because we deferred to Kristaps and Jaylen Brown.
Exactly. The thing is with Jason Tatum is if you take him off the Celtics, I still think the Celtics are a playoff team, like easily.
Yeah,
the Nuggets,
for sure.
We saw them without Jokic, and it was bad. It was really bad without Jokic.
No, you're right. They were even
like
when Jokic is off the floor, the Nuggets like.
And even last year with the Thunder,
collapse.
Shai obviously is taking a step this year, but last year when Shai wasn't as good as he is now, they weren't very talented. No Chet, no Shai. Team crumbled. You know, they made the play in, but they weren't anything crazy. And then this year they turned into a 1 seed, and Shai's averaging 31, 6 and 6, shooting 55 from the field. That's insane.
Yeah,
he's all NBA first team. He's probably at least first or second in MVP. It just depends for me who's the one.
I don't hate him as the MVP. I like him more than Luka.
The problem with Luka is the team isn't good. They can't.
Well, the team. They're
39 and 29. They're the 7 seed. You can't pick him over Jokic and Shai just because I know his stats are fucking insane.
They're the best stats in the league.
Best stats I've ever seen. Man's almost averaging like what, a 30.
But Shai and Jokic also have great stats. So when we're breaking down near 30-point triple doubles for 3 different guys,
that's the thing.
We got to talk about the teams.
Jokic
we have to talk about the
25,
teams
10 and 10 basically for his stats. Shai's 31, 6 and 6.
Yeah,
so you're going to take 5 extra points per game.
And Shai is probably the best defensively of the bunch.
I would say so.
Jokic, what are his steal numbers?
Shai, I have his stats pulled up actually. He's averaging 2 steals a game.
Yeah,
I think that's elite. The league.
That's elite defensively.
He's leading the league in steals. Which is crazy.
I think he did really. I think this really did just like I was more on Jokic than anybody. Thinking Luke, but Shai was probably 3. Now I'm really thinking he's 1 because
I'm just saying the
leading the league in steals
is insane.
Leading the West record wise.
I think
Celtics still have won 6 or 7 more games, but whatever.
Celtics are 53 and 14, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I was looking into it last night because I like my record-setting seasons. If we went out, which would be finishing on a 20-game win streak, and it won't happen.
I don't think that
we will have a top 5 regular season of all time. But
it could happen. I mean, I don't know who you guys are. You guys probably still have a lot of.
We had at one point we had the easiest remaining schedule. I don't know if that's the case still. Maybe we played them all.
You guys
maybe we played them all recently, but
you play Pistons, Bucks, Pistons next 3. So I mean that's at least 2 wins. You probably beat the Bucks.
But we play the Pistons tonight, second night of a back-to-back. Yeah. You never know how a team's going to look on the second night of a back-to-back.
The Pistons are awful.
No, last time we played these guys on the second night of a back-to-back earlier this season. They were up like 20 something, and DraftKings didn't even have
on that 26-game losing streak.
Yeah, that was.
If they lost 1 more game, it was the worst losing streak of all time, and they were up by like 20, and the Celtics came back and beat them.
I think it was. I don't think it was for the record, but I think it was like
it was so
like it was like 21 or 22. It was like, okay, guys, like we really need to lock in here.
Gotta win something. And then
because they're not that bad. They're not the worst team ever.
They were up like 20 points, and then they ended up losing that game. I think is what.
Okay, the Pistons have 12 wins. They are one of the worst teams ever.
One of the worst teams ever. Yeah,
but
December 28th.
Their roster could fool me because Cade's cool. Cade's good.
He's cool, but like I mean,
usually when I think of the worst team of all time, I think of like 2012 Sixers. Like, I can name like 2 players on the roster.
I mean, this team is they were on 27 straight losses going into that game. They were 2-29 playing the Celtics, and they were up. They have
17,
some ballers. They were up 17 points at halftime.
I mean, maybe it's just because I think the talent in the league right now is more insane and crazy than it's ever been. But I mean, Jaden Ivey, Alzer Thompson, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, who's been awesome, Isaiah Stewart, Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, like they have
talent.
They have players. But this roster can win 25 games. Like,
it's just, I think it's at this point you got to blame it on the coach
more
than anything.
Maybe the coach,
because
who is their coach? Monty.
It's Monty Williams. There's one guy on TikTok I see it a lot, and I forget his name. It's not coming to me right now, but he will break down Pistons games and the defense that they play.
He's that miserable, huh?
And he loses his mind at Monty Williams' defensive coaching. They'll be high pick and rolls, and you'll have Jalen Duren going under a screen against Jason Tatum. And it's like, you can't... So the screen is coming from Jalen Duren's, whoever he's guarding, so it's probably Porzingis or something like that. And Porzingis comes up, sets the screen on Ivy or Cunningham, whoever's at the top guarding him. And instead of Cunningham fighting over the screen to stay on top of Jason Tatum, and you have Duren drop back a little bit for help if he gets past him. Drop
coverage would be ideal for a center like Jalen Duren.
But you have Jalen Duren not doing anything, sticking to his man's hip, and then you have Cade fighting under the screen. And it's brother, what are we doing?
On a 39% three-point shooter.
It's like, brother, this is one of the best players in the league.
It's a layup. Yeah, that's a layup for Jason Tatum. Like, what do you...
Even if you fight around that screen in time, you're off balance, and Tatum's right at the rim.
And those shots do so much more harm than just 3 points. I mean, an easy 3-pointer from one of the best players in the league. I mean, it's seeing the ball go through the net from long range. Guys like Jason Tatum get hot after just one or two makes.
And then
because like he'll go a whole quarter without scoring, and then by half he'll go the whole first quarter with 2 shot attempts, 2 points, and he'll have 15 by the half. And I didn't even know. Because like he just gets these sneaky buckets.
It's easy for a player like him to get hot and stay hot.
Yeah, he score in volume. He can score in large volumes in just small amounts of time.
But at this point,
I mean, yeah,
I think it's hopeless for the Pistons. It's firing a coach at this point and hoping you
fire the coach. What kind of deal is it? What kind of deal is he on?
It was 4 years, like a ridiculous amount of money, like 4 years, maybe like.
Are they not? Do they not?
They show the money. They should tell you the money amount. 78.5.
For how many years?
78.5. That was last year.
10 mil a year for 12 wins.
At that point, it's like.
Are you really going to pay him?
The Suns got rid of him.
I mean, are they paying him $1 million every win he gets now?
That's basically what they're paying him right now. They're paying him $1 million per win.
Yeah, I mean, the Suns fired Monty, even though he went to the finals. They fired him. I thought that might have been an overreaction, but seeing this now, clearly he was a problem.
I don't know if it was because, I mean, the Suns team obviously very good.
Oh, I mean, like seeing how he's coaching this team here is.
But I think he was part of the reason that DeAndre Ayton is no longer a Sun. I think it solely relies on Monty Williams and the fact that...
Is he still alive, bro? DeAndre Ayton?
He's on the Trailblazers.
Wow, that'll do
That's why you never hear of them, is because they're 19 and 48, and they're trash.
That'll do it.
I'd rather take the Spurs. If I was running a franchise, and I had to pick one of the teams out of Portland, San Antonio, like Detroit and Washington, give me San Antonio, and then give me Washington.
Jesus, put guys on the roster that don't absolutely fucking hate Victor Wembanyama, and the Spurs can actually win some real games. I don't know if you see the clips of these dudes.
No, I don't.
They refuse to pass this guy the ball sometimes. Like, he will be standing in the paint, and they will throw the ball. Like, you know how hard you have to try to throw the ball over this guy's head? You know how hard it is to avoid throwing him the ball? Like, holy shit, Keldon Johnson. Give him the rock. He's got 30, and he's cutting through the lane at 7'6". Give him the rock.
He only has a 30% usage rate. I feel like that should be way higher.
Vic, I mean, it's a pop team. He's not going to do anything crazy with any of his players most of the time.
He's averaging 21, 10 and 4 as a rookie. I don't know if you saw
4 blocks a game.
I don't know if you saw the video I made the other day. It was comparing, because right now Victor's second in Defensive Player of the Year. If you go on FanDuel, he's second in the odds.
Give it to Rudy, bro. Victor's going to win it for the next fucking decade.
That's what I'm saying, but
give it to Rudy, bro.
So in the video, I compared Rudy and Victor's stats, and so when you put blocks and steals together, they call it stocks. Victor had 276 stocks so far. Gobert has 175.
What's AD at?
I don't know what AD's at. I could probably check it really quick.
Because AD's my sleeper decoy.
I don't even think it's close for AD though.
No, I know it's not. He has a case for all defense, but
he'll probably be
not
all defense. But he has.
I don't know how many games he's missed this year.
He's got 229.
That's good.
That is good. I don't know for sure if that's second, but it's in between Victor and Gobert. So, and then you look at Victor, and the other stats compared was I think it was defensive field goal percentage. So when they're guarding someone, what's the guy's field goal percentage?
Oh God.
Victor's is 47%, and Gobert's
really?
is 43%. So
47 seems high.
It does seem high, but then you look at it, and Gobert is first at 43%.
I guess when you're guarding guys in the paint, it's
it's not just them guarding them in the paint. That was overall. So if they get stuck out on the wing against a guard and they get blown past or a 3-shot,
sidestepped,
that counts as well. And then the other one was win shares, defensive win shares. So it's like the player's impact on defense on wins minus how many wins divided by how many wins the team has. So and then people were commenting like, maybe it's because the Spurs have less wins than the Timberwolves, but that's not really how it works. It's their impact on the wins they have divided by how many wins the team has. So it's relative to how many wins they have. So it goes by by game basis. And Gobert was at like 10, and Victor's at 6. So. He has like a argument for it, but I don't know. I think it's close. Probably Gobert this year, and then every other year it's going to be Victor from now on, which is just ridiculous. This kid's a stud.
Yeah. I'm glad we've got Porzingis. I mean, that's not a Wemby stopper, but I mean, God, it's something. We have something.
7-footer. That's all you really need.
We have something. 7'2", 7'3".
I really can't wait to watch whenever Embiid comes back. I can't wait to watch him play that man. I think
Embiid or Wemby.
Embiid plays Wemby.
Yeah. Did he not get a chance? Did he not play him?
I don't think he got a chance this year. If he did, it wasn't anything crazy.
Well, he certainly puts him in the weight room, but that's.
I think they might have played this year.
I don't know. I doubt the rookie Wembanyama could do anything to stop Embiid when an NBA full of vets can't do anything to stop him. So it'd probably just be more or less the same, but probably shoot a lot of free throws.
Okay, so yes, Embiid did play Wemby this season, and
how many 50? How many?
That was a 70-point game. Embiid scored 70 the first time he played Wemby.
What did I just say? It would probably be. What did I say? Would probably be more or less the same. Okay.
Oh, exactly. It's ridiculous. 70 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's just a thing now players do because 2 seasons in a row, 2 players have done it.
Yeah. And the fact that it was almost on this same night. What was that? Like 3 days in a row, we had Embiid score 70. Like Cat had like 40 at halftime. Like,
finished with one of the worst 60 bombs ever.
Yeah, he had 40 or 50 at halftime, and then came out in the second half and was just chucking threes.
Yeah,
just chucking it.
I think he got himself subbed out at the end of the game,
he did.
too.
And then it was Luka with like 73, like 2 days later.
Yeah, the 73 was crazy because Luka also
ridiculous.
had, I think a couple days before, Luka had like maybe 50. He had a crazy game a couple days before the 70 bomb, and it was,
yeah.
He gets hot. He gets so hot. And he stays hot for days. Right. Some Kobe shit.
Well, are you ready to get into the main idea?
Oh,
of this
yeah. Let's do it.
All right. So I don't know if every one of you have probably heard of it, but we'll go ahead and explain it really quick. The 65-game rule was put into effect this year. It's basically that if a player does not play 65 games, they are not eligible for all NBA teams, all defensive teams, defensive player of the year, most improved player of the year, and then MVP. And the league put this in basically to avoid situations where, let's say you want to go, I'm going to use the Clippers as just an example. No way this rule targeted them in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Let's say you live in LA. Actually, not in LA. Let's say you live in like Memphis, and you really are a big fan of Kawhi Leonard. And the Clippers are coming to town. You buy a ticket, and you walk into the stadium and sit down, get your beer, get your whatever, and you're sitting there. But it's like 30 minutes before game time. You saw before you came, like, oh, Kawhi's GTD, game time decision. You're like, we'll see if he plays. And you check your phone, injury report finally pops up. Kawhi Leonard ain't playing because of left knee soreness. Or the even worse one, rest. You remember like 2 years ago when they would just put rest on the injury report? Shit is ridiculous. But this rule is basically to prevent that. They want to basically not force players to play, but give them like reasons to play. So like, some contracts will have clauses in them that if you make an All NBA team this year, you'll get more money. You're eligible for the Super Bowl.
A lot of contracts and clauses are like that now. It's a difference of $30 million for a lot of guys. So whether they make All NBA or not.
The main guy that this is affecting right now is Tyrese Halliburton, because if he makes an All NBA team this year, he's eligible for the Supermax, which gives him like $40 million more on this contract.
Well, actually, quick side question: is he going to make All NBA if he plays the games?
Yes,
because
he's the leader in assists. He's
okay.
Because
the guard play is crazy, but that's mainly in the but it's not by conference. So you've got Luka, Shai, or is Curry All NBA over him?
Curry might be third. Like,
so
Tyrese is definitely better than Curry.
Tyrese over Curry. Okay.
Maybe Kyrie, but it's close. I don't know if Kyrie has the games played. Like, I don't know if Kyrie even is eligible because he's missed so many games. But I know. At least right now, Tyrese is definitely like in the conversation. Kyrie's only played 46 games. He needs to play 19 more, and I don't know if they have 19 more.
There's only 15 games left,
so Kyrie can't make it. But
what about Tyrese?
Tyrese has. Last time I checked this a couple of days ago, he has played. He's missed 13 games. You can miss a maximum of 17.
Well, so if he gets one more injury, he's probably not gonna.
See, that's the thing. He's played 55 games.
So I like it for MVP.
I like it for MVP too.
Because we need to hold the MVP to the highest possible standard, and that means being available.
We'll talk about it in a second. But I wanted to show this clip of Tyrese talking about the rule really quick. You probably won't be able to hear it, but I'm sure you've heard it already.
Yeah, I watched it.
So I'm going to go ahead and put that up really quick.
I think I've just been frustrated by it completely, but I understand where the league is coming from. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm a fan of basketball like everybody is. We want the best players to play. But realistically, like we talked about earlier, there's only a couple of us that this is going to hurt, that this could hurt financially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that basically is exactly what we're trying to say there, is that he's just frustrated with the rule. Because this man, if he gets one more injury, he's done. He's missing out on his contract rises up to 260 if he makes All NBA this year. $260 million. And if he doesn't, I think it's $30 or $40 million less. That's life-changing money for anyone. And I know he's already making a bag, but would you pass up on $40 million? No.
Of course not. I mean, it's obviously I think the All NBA maybe 50. I like having a game set for it, but not 65 is a lot.
It is a lot. And
well, it's not a I mean,
but that's one injury or even two injuries and it's done. It could be small injuries too. Like I think Tyrese it was something with his leg earlier this season, pulled a hamstring or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he missed like 13 games. And at this point, it's like he's trying to force himself back to play. And that could get him a bigger injury, which may cost him his career. You know what I mean? Because another player we'll talk about is obviously one of my favorite players is Joel Embiid. He obviously isn't eligible for any awards this season because blew out his knee, right?
But for a while there, it was...
Before that, he was still fighting to get the awards. And I don't know if you saw, but Draymond Green said, I think it was on his podcast or something, that he thought that maybe Embiid was forcing himself back early. Because you saw, I think it may have been against the Celtics, I think it was, where he tweaked something and he like missed the second half of the game. And then they had like a 2-day stretch where they didn't have a game and he was rehabbing or whatever. And they made him a game time decision for the next game. And then in that next game is when he tore his meniscus. And so the Draymond says like, hey, I don't know about this rule because it might be forcing guys to come back earlier than they should to try and hit that 65 game threshold. Because Embiid's trying to fight for MVP.
Yeah.
And he's trying to force himself to play because if he doesn't play 65...
The MVP one, I think it's stupid to put yourself at risk for the MVP. Because it's granted, obviously he wants it, but coming back early so that you can win it is a little silly when you're trying to play for a championship. But I'm not gonna victim blame anybody here. I'm gonna take the high road and say that Embiid is obviously a victim of the rule because he may have tried to play too early. But
it's tough because
for all NBA, because like it's a question of money.
Yes,
it's a question of a young man's
all NBA is different because
money. So
because MVP, you can win the MVP, and it won't affect your contract. I mean, there might be some guys that they have like an MVP clause in their contract. They win MVP, they get like $1 million more or something. But
maybe
most of the contracts revolve around All-Stars and All-NBAs. All-Stars obviously don't have a rule for injuries.
Then maybe we need to take, those incentives out of contracts but
that's the way they determine who's a supermax player. But also in that podcast with Tyrese Haliburton, JJ Redick said that maybe he was saying what you're saying is maybe we take those out. And it's like if a team really values that player, they should be more than willing, like able to pay them however much they want.
Right.
Like for Tyrese Haliburton, the Pacers obviously want to pay him $260 million or they wouldn't give him the contract.
Right. So they want him to make that money.
Because they're like, they want him to know like, hey, you're our guy. You're our face of the franchise.
You're our star. Yeah, you're the guy.
We want to pay you. And it's like, at that point is like, why take that like ability away from the team?
Why are we taking monies out of these kids' pockets
exactly, and it's
no reason. Yeah,
and for the NBA it does make sense. It's like, hey, we want our players to play, but then if they're actually hurt, then it's like you're forcing these kids to come back early, and they can risk getting a bigger injury, and it's a whole mess of a thing. But at least for MVP, I do like the rule, and we actually have some
65 games is where it should.
There's actually some good evidence that 65 is a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been but 2 MVPs to not play 65 games.
There's been 5 players who have ever won the MVP while playing under 65 games. The first one is Karl Malone in 1988 and 1999. That season was a lockout season. So I think the total amount of games played that season were like 60 or 50 games the whole season. And at that point, it's just like, yeah, season shortened. We'll win that, right? And I think the second one is 1977, 1978. And this one's a little interesting because it's Bill Walton. Now, I don't know if you know, Bill Walton, weird career. Really weird. Pro played, he was really good when he first started and kind of just fell off, if I remember correctly. And his career stats aren't that crazy. Yeah, he averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds
good like
first career. And he missed 3 full seasons.
Parked outside in the old school.
But in this season, he averaged 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Dog always find his way back home, and it's
but
so
he only
true.
played 58 games the whole season. The guy in second was George Gervin. He played all 82 games and averaged 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And you look at those stats alongside each other, right now, if you're fighting against them, you have to pick who to. I think you pick George Gervin. It's fairly obvious that his stats are better.
Had to zero out the day because I'm not
even
one.
in that time, I feel like, how are they not picking Gervin to win? Especially when he played 24 games. So if the rules are up then, obviously, the one never has an MVP. I don't know what voters are smoking back then. That might be one of the things.
I'm still saying that Steve Nash stealing Kobe Bryant's MVP in 2006 is the most egregious.
That one is very egregious.
Stealing LeBron's Defensive Player of the Year in 2012-13.
Oh yeah, that one was bad.
As a second team all defense, winning the Defensive Player of the Year is some next level hating.
That is some next level hating.
That's some next level LeBron hating.
The last three are pretty there's 2 that are lockout seasons. So the next one is 2011-2012, and that's LeBron. But that was another lockout season where they only played 62 games. The fourth one is 2019-2020. That was COVID, and Giannis won it. He played 63 games. This one's a little interesting because he played 63 games. But the Bucks themselves only played 73. But in second place, LeBron played 67. And the Lakers played 2 fewer games than the Bucks that season. But LeBron played in 4 more of them. So the Lakers played 71 games, the Bucks played 73. Giannis only played 63, and LeBron played 67. If the rule was in effect then, I would love to see how they would have handled that. Would they?
Tastes good like soul food.
Would they have just been like, "Hey,
I'd probably."
Like,
if he had 9 more games, he could have played 2 of them, and that's the logic I would.
thinking.
That's the logic I would vote under. But I mean,
then you can
that question
exactly is
100%.
If the rule was in effect back then, are we
No audio.
saying? Huh?
Your mic is just not
My
there
mic's not
anymore.
working.
I can't hear you.
How about now? No. Hold on.
Not a peep.
What is now? Can you?
Nothing.
How about now? Hello? Okay, give me 1 second.
Hang on.
I think it might be you, brother.
Might be on my end.
I think it's you. Check, brother. I think it's you. I think your headset died, man. I don't think that's me. I think your headset died. Hello, brother.
Usually it's a lot easier to tell because I'm playing
brother.
the game. Yeah, hitting me with the sketch shit is unnecessary, alright?
Okay, well, what was I saying? Yeah.
Play me in Madden, bro.
I think LeBron. I don't know. I don't know if the LeBron stats were even better than Giannis's that year, but like 4 games, I think they just give it to whoever at that point.
I mean, I thought LeBron was the MVP.
That I do. That's the season we're talking about. Is that COVID season where LeBron won the championship? I think a lot of people thought LeBron should have been MVP that year, if I remember correctly. But it went to Giannis. I think it stays with Giannis. That's every year. They do it every year. The last one I know you're especially ready to talk about is 1956, 1957. Bob Cousy won the award while playing only 64 games, but he averaged 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists per game. But in second place,
NBA in today's game,
exactly.
People need to.
Look at the picture that you can't see it, but look at the picture I have on screen here of Bob Cousy. It is a black and white photo with a green square built in around it because this picture is so fucking old that they didn't have an actual, picture, a full picture. It's a circle, a cutout circle, put it in a picture frame. It's hilarious. But Bob Cousy averaged 25 and 7.5. Second place, Bob Pettit averaged 25, 15, and 2, and he played 71 games. So, if the rule was in effect back then, I think it easily is Bob Pettit. It's Bob on Bob. That's the 50s for you. Bob on Bob crime. You know both them white boys were going crazy in the locker rooms.
There was 3 more Bobs in the league fighting for MVP simultaneously. That shit was crazy.
Who the last Bob to be in the league was?
There's probably a Bob.
I don't think there's a Bob right now. The last Bob I can actually... Was McAdoo Bob?
Yeah, Bob McAdoo.
Bob McAdoo.
Hang on. Nah, come on. There's got to be a Bob.
I don't think there's been a Bob.
Dude, are there even any Bobs alive right now?
That's awesome.
Boris Diaw.
No way, Boris Diaw's named Bob.
Oh, okay. It said nickname Bobo. That's why it came up.
I think it's Bob Lanier.
Bobby Jackson retired in 2009. Robert Ory, 2008. Robert counts.
Robert, I guess, does.
Oh, Bobby Portis. Motherfucker, Bobby fucking Portis. I knew there was a fucking Bob somewhere out there.
Okay, so there is.
Motherfucker went off yesterday, bro. He had 25 in the first half. 5 for 5 from 3 he started. I know him and Sam Hauser were having a mid-off.
I love when bench players go crazy.
It's the best. Nah, when dudes randomly drop 50, like when Derrick Rose randomly dropped 50 after years after he was done, or
what did he say? That post-game interview lives in my head all the time. It's,
I just think of him crying.
Yeah, he goes, "I worked my ass off for this man," and the whole crowd went crazy for him. I love D Rose.
Gotta love D Rose. Gotta love D Rose.
Is he a Hall of Famer? He'd be the only MVP to not be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he is.
I operate under very strict logic for Hall of Fame, and that is if you can remove 1 year from a player's,
actually
just any
go into this really quick for us.
Okay.
What is the rule for the Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame, so it's either you have to be really great for a short amount of time or you have to be really good for a long amount of time.
Okay.
Like a 20-year role player who was an all-star 4 times, jersey retired by his team. Maybe a Hall of Fame career. You played for 20 years, you made your all-star team, maybe an all-NBA. Maybe you snuck an All-NBA in there somewhere. Give it to him. But Derrick Rose, who had a 2 or 3 year prime, and if you take that 2011 season out of his resume, for any player in this goes for any player. If you take 1 year off their resume and it's no longer a Hall of Fame career, they shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame in the first place. one good season should not carry you into the Hall of Fame. Same with the NFL, same with most sports is how I feel, but the NBA specifically, because just to how much, I don't want to say longer players play, but they do play. Players. Yeah, exactly. The great players play longer than because football with the contact, obviously your quarterbacks, your whatever,
it's
are what they are. But
for football players to get into the Hall of Fame, I believe, because if you have like a good 3-year peak,
if Antonio Brown wasn't. If Antonio Brown wasn't incriminating himself on a regular basis, he's probably a Hall of Fame level guy. But you thinking about the tweet you saw yesterday?
I saw that tweet today, man. I saw that tweet today. If you guys don't know, you can go on Antonio Brown's Twitter. There's a picture of a guy who does this thing after he leaves hotel rooms. We're not gonna go into it. But just go check out Antonio Brown's Twitter.
Check out hashtag CTESPN.
CTESPN. That might be the greatest invention I've ever seen. We need to get Chandler Jones on that bitch. We need to get Antonio Brown as the head of that bitch. Chandler Jones needs to be on there. Who else we got to be on there?
Dude, who else has lost their mind recently?
Ty Jones needs to be on there. That man is crazy. Kyrie for a little bit probably could have made an appearance.
Yeah, but he wasn't really. That's the thing. It's past science at this point. These motherfuckers are just crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
Because Kyrie never took a blow to the head. He's just fucking insane.
He's just fucking insane. I'll never forget that game I watched live. What was it? Nets versus Celtics in TD Garden, and Kyrie's taking the ball out of bounds. And before the ref gives him the ball, this motherfucker puts both hands behind his head and flips off the entire crowd. I think you can find
if you're bored, you can find a 15-minute YouTube video of Boston chanting "fuck you, Kyrie" every time he has the ball.
And then Kyrie comes out in the post-game interview and says that Boston has the most racist fans on the planet.
Yeah,
which I could believe. Listen, there's a lot of players that come out of TD Garden saying they got called certain things in that arena. And it doesn't surprise me that Boston is racist.
Hey, look, man, it's definitely not.
It's okay. No, it's not okay.
I'm not racist, so I'm okay about it. But I wish they weren't.
Definitely some of them old white guys on the side saying some foul things.
I wish some racist stuff about other teams would start coming out, but
they're definitely. Other teams.
Give us some credit. Didn't we hire the first black coach? We've done the most not racist things, but the fans.
Didn't that black coach do some crazy shit?
Did he?
Ime? Oh no,
not Ime.
Bill. I forgot about Bill.
I'm sorry. Yeah, back in the day, the first African American coach. And
why Ime, the first African coach was Ime Udoka? Am I stupid?
The Ime situation, I plead the fifth on because I just accept I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I'm assuming. Look, from a fan's perspective, from a Celtics fan's perspective, who just went to the finals. And thought he had a really good coach on his hands.
Yeah.
An up-and-comer type thing. I was upset when we fired him and even more upset when we suspended him the whole season, but I'm just, like I said, I'm going to assume that there was some nasty shit involved in that because, team rules are what they are, but your head coach violating a facility rule about sleeping with coworkers, consensual sex between adults, a full season suspension seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
Almost anything, even a player tests positive for PEDs and it's only a month at most. Half the season at most. What? He's not cheating. He's not violating basketball in any way. He's just, it's immoral. But I'm one who doesn't think it's necessarily wrong to sleep with a coworker. Anyways,
we'll leave the personal things out of this, but
touche.
Either way, yeah,
touche.
Ime's situation was weird.
Jokes.
Ime's situation was odd because I don't know. he slept with some staff member, and they were like, "That's not cool," and basically sent him off to Houston. But he's doing great in Houston. I mean, Houston may not have the best record in the world, but they're up and coming.
Look, if you compare Houston's roster to the Pistons,
I take Houston. Sengun is like mini Jokic. That kid's disgusting.
Okay, yeah, they do have the Sengun is crazy.
If Jalen Green can develop, I like him.
The point I was going to try to make was that their rosters aren't that crazy.
Deep. Exactly.
So Houston's has got what, like 20 wins now?
Mm-hmm.
20-something wins now?
20-something wins. They are at
32 wins. That's not a 20-game roster difference.
No.
That's not.
That's coaching.
And that's Monty. That's the difference between
Ime and Monty. I like that.
And that's why I hate when people tell me that coaches don't matter, bro. Like every time, like, I know we're not talking about LeBron and Jordan now, but every time I do, and I bring up Phil Jackson being a huge thing for Jordan, and people tell me that doesn't matter, you're crazy. Coaching is one of the most important things.
I think the next episode we can talk about the actual GOAT debate, because I love talking about that.
Well, we just need people to disagree with because we think the same on it.
I don't know if we actually do think the same on it.
You a Jordan guy?
I'm a little bit of both. Because
I'm a little bit of both too.
Well, the We Done with the 90s trend has really opened my eyes on some things. That thing is awesome. I'm
trying not to take it too seriously, because if I do, I'll completely lose respect, like a lot of people have. But I'm seeing some of these clips.
I posted a video. It got 7,000 views, which is a lot for our TikTok, but a lot of people saw it. And it was it was satire, and I don't think a lot of people in the comments didn't read that part of the description where I said this video was a joke. But I made a We Done with the 90s all-time top 10, and people were mad. At 10, I did make a mistake, and I didn't put KD in it because I forgot about KD when I was making it. So that is a mistake on that video, is that I didn't put KD in it.
So what'd you say?
Number 10 was Dirk. And then I put a little comment.
Oh, a top 10 with no 90s.
Yeah, with no 90s players in it. So I put put a little comment under each of them. KD should be in there. You'll see who I put in there. KD should be in there. But at 10, I put Dirk Nowitzki.
I was gonna say,
and I said a 7-footer pulling up from anywhere. Like, who the fuck's guarding that in the 90s? At number 9, I put Dwayne. I put Dwayne Wade, and at the bottom, I just put 2012 Heat is better than the 96 Bulls. 8, I put Kawhi.
So you're trying to piss people off.
I'm trying to get people mad. So at number 8, I put 90s bums not doing anything against the Claw. 7, I put Giannis, and I said I think he could 5v1.
Jordan. Just say Jordan, but better for Kawhi. But better.
For Giannis, I made Giannis number 7. I said I think he could 5v1. Jokic, I said can't stop him now, can't stop him then, which is actually very accurate.
That's a fact. If we can't figure him out in 2024, 90s are fucked. He's averaging 40 and 30.
And then number 5, I put Tim Duncan. I said top 5 in MVP as a rookie in 1997 with the thinking emoji, and it's just saying that Tim Duncan came into the league in the 90s.
Yeah, I get exactly what you're insinuating.
And then number 4,
that is such good bait.
Number 4, I put Shaq. That's it. Just Shaq. Shaq would just dominate.
Yeah. I mean, Shaq dominated in the 90s, so yeah.
And that's what other people were saying. It's why is Shaq and Tim Duncan and Kobe on this? Kobe's next, but Kobe on this, that they played in the 90s. And then someone else actually replied for me what I was going to say. It was they mostly dominated in the 2000s.
Well, Shaq was a little bit of 50-50. He won his championships in the 2000s, so that's
his first championship was, I think, 99, 2000.
But he was a dog on Orlando, and then was a dog for the Lakers the first
2000, 2001, 2002 was his prime.
Yeah, and
his
then
peak.
2000s, yeah.
So and then 3, I put
30 and 20 type.
This is top tier baiting. Is number 3 is Kobe Bryant, and I said who's stopping the Mamba? ? And then the bait is that I didn't say Jordan, I said Scotty ? Because that'll make people like, what do you mean? Scotty's not going to guard him. Jordan's going to guard him. Like, Jordan can stop him.
He's going to stop him, Scotty.
Number 2 was Steph Curry. I said, good luck chasing him all game while he's chucking threes. And then,
no, honestly, you're not fucking. What's his
Steph
face?
Curry's killing the 90s.
Craig Elo is not chasing Curry around fucking
Derek Fisher, Ron Harper.
No,
Ron
they're
Harper.
not getting.
No,
Bro,
Ron Harper's
they're
Deladova
not getting,
was a fluke because I know people are going to say like, "Hey, Deli guarded him. Ron Harper could lock him up."
What were his stats in that series?
Oh, he still went crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
did he really guard him?
Game one,
Iggy guarded LeBron in 26.
Iggy guarded LeBron in
2015
and won the MVP in the finals because of it. He held LeBron to 30 points, and they were like, "Yeah,
didn't have to do a good job, but
that's good.
You did it."
They're like, LeBron didn't score 45 every game. Let's give Iggy the MVP for this series. I like it. And then number 1, I just put LeBron James and just said, "Look out."
Yeah, that's.
It's top tier baiting. That's all.
A no 90s list. It's basically just a top 10 list without Hakeem.
And then the top comment on the fucking video is
no
again.
No Bird or Magic.
It's no 90s. The trend is no 80s and no 90s players.
Okay,
so it's 80s, like we're done with the old dudes.
We're pre 90s. We are out. Yeah, I get you.
The number 1 comment is never make a list again. Skull emoji, and it's like, okay, dude, like my bad.
Well, what's your top? Wait, what does his top 10 without fucking 90s players look like?
And then this guy.
I get KD, but like KD can float in around 8 or
some guy comes to LeBron should be top 5. Like he's not fucking number 1. Like what do you video were you watching?
Did you finish the video?
Yeah. And then some guy says, "I hope y'all realize that most of the players listed wouldn't be able to do the moves they are doing today back then without getting a travel or a carry call," which might be true, but
maybe. But
I don't.
The refs would come. I feel like the refs would probably come around like they did for.
If you're watching Steph Curry, yeah, he might carry the ball every couple of dribbles, but he's cooking and
not really.
Yeah,
he's a pretty
thing. Is carrying even a thing anymore? It's so hard to determine because these guys' hands are so big. It's hard for them to keep their hand on the top of the ball because it looks like their hand's on the side because it's so fucking big. Kawhi Leonard's hand is the size of the ball. As long as he's not like under it, then that's fine.
I mean, like, how much of your hand has to be like because it's always the carry is always it's more about like did you ever like
if you're like it's basically a travel while like
NBA doesn't call carries or travels much. That's like I feel like at the beginning of the season the refs are like really on it and they're like calling travels and they're doing a good job.
It's like any job. It's like hey,
and then they fall off.
It's like hey, at the start of the season we're gonna be on our shit.
It's the attention to detail that falls off.
By game 70, they're like, yeah, he traveled for half a second. Who gives a fuck? Like, you know,
he probably just doesn't even notice because like it's a thing where it's like, okay, you have to be locked in as a referee to see stuff like that.
Like, there's that one clip of LeBron.
No one's locked into anything.
There's that one clip of LeBron who, when he gets the inbound, he takes like 4 steps before he dribbles the ball, and people are like pissed about that. And in my mind, I'm like, but does that?
The ref probably turned his back and started jogging down the court. That's the thing,
too. The ref is already down the court.
That doesn't impact the game. Exactly. Like, yeah, it's a travel, but it doesn't
at the same time, it's like, is LeBron taking 4 steps up the court without dribbling the ball? It's not like a guy's on his shit, like, ready to try and play defense.
If he's getting guarded.
If he's getting guarded, then yeah. But he's bringing the ball up the court. All other defenders are already in the backcourt. Like, just let it go. Like, it's not that big a deal.
For real.
But I think that's about it for this one.
I was gonna say
we've been going for about an hour, so it's solid. I think the next episode we talk about definitely a section about the GOAT debate. I might try and
playoffs
are coming up too.
We need to make our playoff brackets.
I like that. We can also talk about the awards a little more. We talked about it a little bit today. I think we go more in depth on
from award to award and make our own
picks for it. But yeah, if you guys watched it this far, thanks for watching. We'll do these I'll probably post this on Tuesday. Probably Tuesday mornings are when these are going to come out. Always live on Mondays, probably around this time, maybe a little later or a little earlier, just depending on our schedules. But that's it from us. Anything final things to say, Mr. Casey?
Go C's.
Go C's. God damn it. Embiid, come back, man. Let's go dominate the East, man. Come on, brother.
Oh my God, bro. Come on. Embiid, come back. We'll kick your ass in 6 instead of 4.
We'll see.
Wah, wah.
All right. That's it. See y'all.